Hi, my name is Alisha Wainwright. I play Maia on Shadowhunters, and you're watching FrConventions. You know, I don't remember a lot about my first day, but I remember I made a really big mistake. So I was pretty new to like stunts and like the sort of active stuff that they do on Shadowhunters. And my first scene that I ever shot was I'm like chasing Jace down a narrow alleyway. And the way it's scripted, Maya's running. So I get on set and they're like, action. And I start running like as hard as I can, and I ran into the camera. It was so embarrassing, and everyone was like, whoa, like, do you even know what you're doing here? So yeah, that's my first memory. It's very similar to my own personality. I'm a triple Cancer. So, you know, you have the hard exterior and you have the soft, mushy center. So it was actually really easy to play that aspect of Maia because I myself can sometimes be guarded at first. Maia more so, but, you know, as an actor, you take a small part of yourself and then you craft it to the character. I think I just sort of approach things with as much humbleness as possible. I think I did at the time, if I can remember, I did a lot of research into people who had experienced domestic violence to just try and learn a little bit about people's resilience, because people don't often want to think about where they were at in the past. They want to move forward. And so striking the balance of trying to tell the story but also still know that it's in the past is tricky. But I think that that's what makes that scene so interesting, because you could tell she's really strong, but it was something that really hurt her. No, I think there's no one right accurate representation, right? People experience trauma all kinds of ways, and they heal in all kinds of ways. So it's just one perspective, but I just try to, me and I guess the showrunners and the writers tried to tell a story as authentically to Maia as possible while still being aware that it's a plot point that other viewers might relate to or know someone who experienced something like that. I think, you know, I've been learning how to write a little bit myself, and something that I've noticed, when you learn something, you pay attention more, right? And sometimes when you meet a character who the audience perceives as bad initially, they have to have some kind of a reckoning in order for the audience to feel satisfied. And so I think the audience coming in and thinking Jordan maybe was a bad guy at first, they needed some sort of redemption. So did he have to die? I mean, I don't know. But I do think he had to have some sort of justice. Justice had to be served in some way, but I think he died very nobly, and they were able to make amends as best they could, which I think is really beautiful. And I mean, I think the writers did a good job with the story, but obviously working with Chai was really fun, so it would have been cool to keep working with him. He and I were very similar. We grew up in the same part of Florida. We just kind of got along really well. If you've spoken to him for 5 minutes, he's really easy to get along with, and I can imagine he has great chemistry with a lot of people, so that was pretty easy. So I can understand why people would like that. But yeah, working with Alberto was one of the joys of being on the show, because we just got along really well. He's like a buddy, you know, and when you feel safe with a partner like that, then you can really explore as an actor. Yeah, I feel that everyone, you know, it's funny too, because you'll see like certain parts of the season you end up doing more work with one actor, and then it switches and then you're working with someone else. So it's kind of like, you know, when I first started on the show, I was working with Isaiah a lot, but then as the show went on, I worked with him less and less. But when I spent a lot of time with him, it was so much fun, and he was such a like father figure on set, and I think I learned a lot from him. But then as it went on, I was working with Chai more, and so he was like a fun, young energy, and new to the cast, so that was really refreshing. So I feel like the plot dictates who you spend time with, then kind of shifts who you're, spending most of your day with. I'm like blown away. Honestly, I haven't done a convention in 8 years, so I kind of, you know, life moves on. I've worked a lot since then, so I forgot and was quickly reminded how passionate the fans are and how much the material really means to them. And it makes me feel really happy that not only are they rewatching and watching the show, but they're also connecting with each other and finding spaces to make new friends, to travel together. That's pretty cool. You know, there was a point where they were going to go and meet my parents. So I think if there was a 4th season, I think we would have explored some familial stuff with Maia, which I think would have been interesting. Yeah, I mean, as an actor, it's a job, right? And job security is really nice. So when you lose job security, it can feel stressful. So there's that. Second, I really liked working on the show. I was learning a lot. Personally, I was shadowing directors on set, and my goal would have been to try and direct on the show if they would have ever let me. So I felt like I was on a track to grow a lot professionally. So it was really sad to lose that. And then also the fans are just so like vocal online, and they were so involved, like whenever we did live tweets and stuff, so you felt deeply aware of the passion. And then when the show was canceled, and when it was canceled, I knew it was canceled. Like I knew it was not coming back, just because of the behind the scenes, how it was gonna work. So it was really sad, because I knew that, but I couldn't go online and say, stop, you know, because why would I take that away, you know? And like, even now, still fans are really excited to talk about potentially bringing the show back, which I just think is so sweet. And like, it broke my heart a little bit, because I knew what they wanted so bad that they weren't gonna get, and I felt for them. So I hope that sometimes it's like, you know, like a bad thing brings people closer together, you know? So I kind of feel like maybe the fandom's even stronger now, because the show was taken a little too soon.